Cheap doesn't always mean safe, and in 2025, some cars under 20K are hiding terrifying secrets. We're talking deadly crash rates, transmissions that shut down at highway speeds, and rollovers that happen in government crash tests. These cars are still being sold, trust me, you don't want to own one. Number 5. Mitsubishi Mirage. Let me start with a statistic that will blow your mind. The Mitsubishi Mirage has the highest driver death rate of any car on American roads today. We're talking about 4.8 times higher than the average car. That means if you're driving a Mirage, you're almost 5 times more likely to die in a crash compared to driving literally any other vehicle. But how can a car that costs around $12,000 to $15,000 be so deadly? The answer lies in basic physics and some truly questionable engineering decisions. The Mirage weighs just 2,154 pounds. To put that into perspective, that's lighter than many motorcycles with sidecars. When this tiny car hits anything substantial, or when anything substantial hits it, there's simply not enough mass and structure to protect the people inside. The Mirage comes with a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder engine that produces just 76 horsepower. That might sound adequate for city driving, but here's where it becomes dangerous. When you need to merge onto a highway or pass a slow vehicle, this engine simply cannot provide the acceleration you need to get out of dangerous situations quickly. Drivers report feeling terrified when trying to merge because the car takes forever to reach highway speed. But the real nightmare begins when things go wrong. In 2019, Mitsubishi had to recall over 26,000 Mirage G4 sedans because of a software problem that could completely disable all the airbags without warning. Imagine driving along normally, not knowing that your only protection in a crash has been switched off by faulty computer code. The recall notice stated that the airbag control unit could malfunction, preventing the airbags from deploying when you need them most. The interior of the Mirage tells another story of cost-cutting that affects safety. The dashboard is made of hard, cheap plastic that can become projectiles in a crash. The seats lack proper side bolsters, meaning your body isn't properly positioned or supported during sudden movements. Even the door panels feel flimsy, which might seem like a minor detail until you realize that door strength is crucial for side impact protection. Number 4. Chevrolet Spark. The Chevrolet Spark might look cute and friendly. Don't let its cheerful appearance fool you. This subcompact car has earned its place on our list through a combination of poor crash test performance and design decisions that prioritize cheapness over safety. The Spark measures just 144 inches long, making it one of the shortest cars sold in America. While this makes parking easy, it also means there's very little crumple zone to absorb crash energy before it reaches the passenger compartment. The car weighs 2,246 pounds, which is slightly heavier than the Mirage, but still dangerously light by modern standards. Under the hood, you'll find a 1.4-liter 4-cylinder engine producing 98 horsepower. While this is more power than the Mirage, it's still inadequate for safe highway driving. The Spark takes over 11 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour, and that sluggish acceleration can put you in life-threatening situations when you need to quickly avoid danger. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety put the Spark through their rigorous crash tests. Results were frightening. During the small overlap front test, which simulates hitting a tree or utility pole with the front corner of the car, the Spark structure completely failed. The driver's side door frame bent so much that the dummy's head nearly slid off the front airbag entirely. This means in a real crash, your head could smash into the dashboard or steering wheel, even with the airbag deployed. But the problems don't stop there. The side curtain airbags in the Spark don't provide adequate coverage for rear passengers. In a side impact crash, anyone sitting in the back seat would have their head and upper body completely exposed to whatever the car is hitting. The IIHS noted that the door frame and center pillar showed significant bending during side impact tests, which means the car structure isn't strong enough to maintain the passenger's compartment's shape during a crash. Owners report additional safety concerns that don't show up in official crash tests. The Spark's electrical system's notoriously unreliable, with multiple recalls for problems that could leave you stranded or create fire hazards. The 2014 model alone had 12 different recalls, including one for charging cord overheating that could start fires. Another recall involved problems with the ignition switch that could cause the engine to shut off while driving. Number 3. Nissan Altima. Now let's talk about the Nissan Altima, specifically the models from 2013 to 2020 you can find under $20,000. These cars look normal, drive normally when new, and have decent crash test ratings. So why are they on our list? Because they have a catastrophic flaw that can literally kill you while driving: the CVT transmission. CVT stands for Continuously Variable Transmission, and Nissan's version is one of the most failure-prone pieces of automotive technology ever mass-produced. The Altima uses Nissan's Xtronic CVT, which was supposed to provide smooth acceleration and better fuel economy. Instead, Instead, it's created one of the biggest safety disasters in modern automotive history. Here's what happens when the CVT starts to fail. Trust me, it will fail. The transmission begins to slip, meaning the engine revs high but the car doesn't accelerate. Imagine you're trying to pass a truck on a 2-lane highway. You press the gas pedal, the engine screams to 6,000 RPM, but the car barely speeds up. Now you're stuck in the oncoming traffic lane with no way to complete the pass and no power to get back to safety quickly. But it gets worse. Many owners report complete power loss while driving at highway speeds. Picture cruising along at 70 miles per hour when suddenly your car loses all forward momentum. The engine might still be running, but you're essentially coasting to a stop in the middle of fast-moving traffic. Multiple owners have described this exact scenario, with some saying they barely avoided being rear-ended by trucks that couldn't stop in time. Nissan has faced multiple class-action lawsuits over these CVT failures. One lawsuit specifically mentions owners experiencing sudden and unexpected loss of power while driving on busy roads and highways. The suit describes drivers being left helpless and stranded in dangerous traffic situations. Their transmissions fail completely. The Altima weighs 3,212 pounds and comes with either a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine producing 188 horsepower or a 3.5-liter V6 making 270 horsepower. These are adequate power plants, but they're connected to a transmission system that's essentially a ticking time bomb. The irony is that when the CVT is working properly, these are actually quite pleasant cars to drive, but that reliability window is terrifyingly short. Number 2. Jeep Wrangler. The Jeep Wrangler's built its reputation on off-road capability and rugged styling. It has one massive problem that makes it dangerous for everyday driving. It tips over during crash tests. Every single Wrangler that the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety has tested has rolled onto its side during frontal impact tests. When the 2019 Wrangler hit the test barrier, it immediately tipped onto its passenger side. Jeep tried to fix this by modifying the 2022 model with additional structural reinforcements, but the newer Wrangler still tipped over during the exact same test. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety stated bluntly that a vehicle tipping onto its side is not an acceptable outcome for a frontal crash, yet this continues to happen with every Wrangler they test. The Wrangler's rollover problem stems from its high center of gravity and narrow track width. The two-door model measures 73.8 inches wide and stands 70.9 inches tall, creating proportions that are inherently unstable. Add in the fact that many Wranglers have large heavy wheels and tires that raise the center of gravity even higher, you have a recipe for disaster. But the rollover risk isn't limited to crash tests. Real-world data shows that Wranglers have one of the highest rollover rates of any vehicle on the road. The combination of short wheelbase, high center of gravity, and solid front and rear axles make the Wrangler prone to tripping and rolling over during emergency maneuvers. If you have to swerve suddenly to avoid an accident, the Wrangler's suspension geometry can actually cause the vehicle to dig in and flip. The Wrangler's removable doors and roof create additional safety concerns. While these features are great for open-air driving, they significantly increase the risk of ejection during a rollover. Unlike most modern SUVs, the Wrangler doesn't have side curtain airbags, means your head and upper body are completely unprotected if the vehicle rolls over. Number 1. Ford Focus. The Focus came with a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine producing 160 horsepower, which provided adequate performance when connected to a properly working transmission. The car weighed 2,935 pounds, making it reasonably substantial for a compact car. The problem wasn't with the engine or the basic structure of the vehicle. The problem was with the powershift transmission that Ford used from 2012 to 2016. Dual-clutch transmissions work differently from traditional automatics. Instead of using a torque converter, they use two separate clutches to provide seamless shifting. When properly engineered and manufactured, they can offer the convenience of an automatic with the efficiency of a manual. Ford's powershift was not properly engineered or manufactured. The powershift transmission suffers from premature clutch wear, overheating, and complete electronic failure. But these aren't just reliability problems that leave you stranded at inconvenient times. These are safety problems that can put you in life-threatening situations. The transmission frequently shudders and jerks during acceleration, making it impossible to smoothly enter highway traffic or pass other vehicles safely. The overheating problems are even more dangerous. When the powershift transmission gets too hot, it enters what Ford calls limp mode, where power is severely reduced to protect the transmission components. This can happen at any time, including while you're driving on the highway. One moment you're cruising at 70 miles per hour, and the next moment your car can barely maintain 30 miles per hour, forcing you to limp to the shoulder while traffic flies past at full speed. Ford has admitted that the powershift transmission was a mistake. They've settled multiple class action lawsuits and extended warranties to 10 years or 150,000 miles, whichever comes first. But even with the extended warranty, many owners find that repairs don't fix the underlying problems. The transmission might work properly for a few thousand miles after a repair, but then the same problems return. Let us know in the comments which car also deserved to be on this list.